John Smith, a man in the prime of his life, yawned as he stepped out of his room. He had been lying down, reading a book. What else could a retiree do in his winter apartment? Summer was a blessing. In the summer, he would go to his cabin and stay there until the first snow, avoiding the city like the plague. What was there to do in this bustling anthill? But there, it was paradise. Right behind the garden, there was a creek with some fish, and beyond the creek, a mixed forest full of mushrooms and berries. In the yard, there was a sauna, and the house itself, though old, was still in excellent condition. One could live there even in winter, but boredom would be the death of him. It used to be a village. And the house belonged to John's parents. He was born and raised there. Now, the village had withered away, and only summer residents remained. There was no one to talk to in winter, so he moved to the city for the season. His apartment, by the way, was shared with his son and daughter-in-law. They had 2 rooms, and John had one. His wife had long since passed away, leaving him a widower. His daughter-in-law was friendly and respectful, a capable woman. Sometimes, a man marries a woman who turns out to be a spendthrift or completely unsuited for household chores. But not her. She managed everything at home, worked, and kept her husband happy. John's son often went on business trips, leaving his wife alone. One day, John went to the bathroom and, on his way back, heard sobbing from his daughter-in-law's room. He peeked in, ready for anything, and saw her lying on the bed, her hand wandering, eyes closed, tears in the corners, and breathing heavily. It was clear she needed a man. Women have needs, and if they don't get what they need, who knows where their search will lead them. The sight stirred something in John, but he held back. Just as he was about to leave, she opened her eyes and saw him standing there. She quickly sat up, trying to cover herself with her nightgown, but it got stuck, and the blanket was far at the foot of the bed. "Dad," she called him, as she and his son were used to calling him. John walked into the room, sat on the edge of the bed, and said, "Don't hide, dear. I've seen women before. It's hard without a man." She burst into tears, sobbing uncontrollably. "He's gone, and I'm here, dying. He's probably with other women, and what am I supposed to do?" Forgetting she was almost naked, she moved closer to John, burying her face in his shoulder, crying. They drew closer to each other. Their hasty glances and tenderness seemed to say more than words. When she moved a strand of hair from her shoulder, the world around her disappeared. He leaned toward her, and their lips met, softly, like a breath of wind. She felt the warmth of his kiss, full of passion and tenderness, as if all her life had met in this moment. Putting her arms around his neck, she felt him pull her to him, and their bodies joined in a dance that they both dreamed of. It was wonderful, passionate, bringing to life sensations and dreams of the forbidden, of what could lead to more than just a moment. A young man thinks only of himself, but an older man has patience and knows how to please a woman. After the first time they lay together, and she said, "It feels like I'm cheating on my husband, but my conscience doesn't bother me." "Why, it's not cheating," John replied. "You needed comfort, and it wasn't with a stranger, but with your father-in-law." "Who will tell your husband?" "You? Me? No, let my son remain in the dark. In much knowledge, there is much grief." They enjoyed each other's company for a week or more. They fell asleep with her on top and John beneath, but in the morning, they were just lying side by side, hugging. When they woke up, their passion acted like magnets. John. His lips touched her body. The woman closed her eyes, plunging into a sweet whirlwind of emotions. These moments became for them not only physical closeness, but also a deep unity of souls. Please subscribe to the channel and like it. You can also leave your comments. These actions help promote the channel on the YouTube platform and inspire me to release new videos for you. Thank you for your attention.